Yes, welcome in. Hold my banner here, wherever you get your podcast, Spotify, Apple, Amazon Prime. I'm George Balekji, filling in for Travis Thomas. I got my boy Ountae Campbell with me. I'll hold my banner as well. We got a full show for you guys today. I'll give a little take. It's been a minute since I've been on the pod. I got to give my 2 cents on the whole Jeff Bezos situation of him being thought of, and there was rumors that he wants to own the Celtics and then quickly bowing out. We'll get into NBA previews as well, talking Utah Jazz, Oklahoma City Thunder. My favorite thing, Tay's got 1 in 7 for me. We'll see if I do better. Go 2 for 2, but that Carmelo one wasn't easy, but I found that shot. We'll talk some Nike and Lego and plenty more around the league as well. Let's bring in my boy Tay real quick. Ountae, back on the show. It's been a minute. For a while there, I was thinking, like, you just don't want me back, I guess. But, like, desperate times, desperate measures. Trav is off, so you're like, all right, I guess George is back on.
Yeah, that's how I feel, for sure. I'm like, I got stuck with George again on this episode. I'm scratching my head. I'm like, what are we going to talk about? No, I'm just joking, bro. I'm excited to have you, just as excited as I am to announce that DeWanna Bonner is now 4th all-time in the WNBA in all-time scorers. She's probably not going to get up to 1 or 2 because Tina Charles is still playing, and she's at 2 right now, and DT, the GOAT, is at 1, and she's way beyond, and she's going to keep playing as well. But obviously, she's going to have a chance to pass Tina Thompson for the 3 spot within the next couple of games. She's about 100 points away. The Sun are playing right now as we're recording, so we'll see how much she finishes with.
Is that a little breaking news right here on Hold My Banner?
No, it's not breaking news.
It's breaking news.
It's breaking to us, yes, but not breaking news.
You broke the news to me, so it's awesome to hear about DeWanna Bonner. I just figured, Tay, like, you heard me say Drew Holiday should be a Hall of Famer. Like, I can never bring him back on the show.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to have you out there raising canes with Drew, making some chicken fingers for some people if you keep giving takes like that.
Bro, he'll 2 gold medals, 2 rings on his fingers, all those first-team all-defense in the NBA. I'm just saying. We'll bring you back on, Tay. We'll bring you back on before you take away my Drew Holiday Hall of Fame take. Now, I said it right open from the jump. We saw those rumors come out, and that all stemmed back to Bill Simmons saying he was hearing Jeff Bezos is interested in owning the Celtics. And I think that's kind of like a no-duh thing. I'm not knocking Bill Simmons for reporting that. I mean, he definitely heard it to run for it. All these hyper successful business moguls, entrepreneurs, tech guys, whatever you want to say, whatever you want to call them, the dudes like the Steve Ballmers in the world and more, because Bezos is worth all that he's worth for, $200 billion, they're going to be interested anytime a sports franchise comes up. He went for the Washington Commanders a couple of years ago, got outbid. Commanders were bought for $6.5 billion. Yes, it's an NFL franchise, but are they worth $6.5 billion? I don't think so. Josh Harris just ended up paying the price of getting into the NFL. Now, we know the Celtics are valued between $5 and $6 billion. I mean, they just won a ring, and it's an NBA franchise, and the Celtics with 2 of the biggest stars in the game, especially with Jayson Tatum, who's a top 7 guy in the league, and Jaylen Brown, who many view as top 15, I say top 12, maybe top 10. I mean, you get that coming off a ring, a global brand. And let's face it, the Commanders and the Celtics, when you look overall sports franchises to own across all major sports, they're not in the same neighborhood. There's the Celtics, there's the Knicks, there's the Lakers. You could even say there are the Bulls because of what MJ did it, but even though they've been bad. There are the Cowboys, right? There are the Giants. There are the Patriots. There's the Yankees, the Red Sox, the Dodgers. There's the Bruins, the Blackhawks, the Rangers. There are those certain teams when you go into major pro sports that are just a bigger brand and just mean more to the league. And overall, what these guys got, you don't get to $200 billion without having a huge ego. It's not just owning a team, it's owning the team. And that's what the Celtics are right now. But just as quickly as it came up of Jeff Bezos' interest in everyone going, well, I want a local guy. $200 billion. That's what you want. Because think about the tax that some of these teams are estimated to have. The Suns, $188 million. The T-Wolves, $105 million. Milwaukee, $74. Boston, $65. Lakers, $53. When you start paying Tatum and Brown together with their Supermaxes, Derek White under contract, we'll see how much longer. Drew Holiday, he did sign that extension, but we'll see how long before he gets moved. I mean, that tax dollar is going to go up $200 million a year. You need someone that has the money that doesn't mind paying the tax. The Suns are owned by Matt Ishbia, $8 billion. Minnesota, Glenn Taylor, majority owner, $2.9 billion. Milwaukee, majority owner, Wes Edens, $2.9 billion. The Lakers, Jeannie Buss, $700 million. What the Lakers have been doing, they've been operating like they're a mom and pop shop, for better or for worse. Whoever buys the Celtics, you want them to have that hubris and that audacity and that ego to want to pay the tax, because that's what keeps a core together longer. You don't want someone that's going to want to break away that core as quick as possible and get into the $0 tax paying, because then what? It's the Charlotte Hornets, who you'd be rooting for. But just as quickly as Jeff Bezos was rumored to be in, and people said, well, I don't want him, I want a local owner. You don't want that. You want someone with a lot of money and someone that's competitive. They, like Steve Ballmer, they don't want to just be sitting courtside. They want to be winning courtside. They want to be there in the playoffs and the NBA Finals. Even like a Mark Cuban as well, and everything he did to build up himself and make him a household name thanks to owning the Mavericks. But then Bezos, as quickly as it was rumored he was interested, came out that, well, no, he's not looking into it at all. What I think that move wasn't the price tag. It was him going, wait, I don't get my own arena? Because what did Ballmer just do with the Clippers? They built the Intuit Dome. That place is unreal. Now they have their own home arena. A, they don't have to pay a lease to pay to rent to anybody. And B, he owns a piece of property he can use year-round. Concerts, events, WWE SmackDown, I don't care. Taylor Swift comes to town. They're performing there. Oh, and by the way, 41 times a year, regular season only, you got your team in the door. You got all these people coming through to experience something. The Celtics have their lease with TD Garden through 2036, next 15 years. Bezos probably goes, I'm interested in buying the Celtics, made a few phone calls, someone with as much money as him will find out quickly and go, oh, I can't build that building in Everett until 2036? And he looks at $6 billion right now, but all those years of leasing, well, if he waits for Vegas or Seattle to get their expansion franchise, and if they get their own building, yeah, maybe that'll be $7, $8, $9 billion when that comes around, but he owns his own building right off the bat. So I think Bezos, that's the type of owner you want, someone that has the money to pay. But keep in mind what these owners are dealing with. They don't want to pay rent, but they don't own TD Garden. They lease it out. And say what you want. I think it's great inside. Yeah, it's tight. It's on a small footprint. But that's the 6th or 7th oldest building in the NBA. That matters to these guys, to these big-time owners. They want to build their own arena. And then, like I said, you build it in Everett, across from the casino, I would hate that it would lose its touch. It wouldn't be the same home court advantage as Celtics get right now. Because then you get people traveling, going to Boston, check out the Freedom Trail, go to Bunker Hill, have beers at Warren Tavern and oysters at the Union Oyster House, and then go to Everett, gamble, and then go cross street and watch an NBA game. But the issue is they're going to be from all over the country, and they won't be from Boston. It'll take that home court away, but it's a business. It's why Irv Grousbeck is getting out of it right now. He's getting up there in age. And if he could save on taxes, or say he just passes away and hands the team to Wick and his kids and his family, maybe they get taxed at like 40%. But if they sell it right now, that gets taxed at 20. 20% difference on $6 billion? It's a lot of money. And I'm just guessing the numbers there. But that's where people need to understand. I wanted a guy like Bezos in. I think a guy like Bezos will come. One thing they got to understand too, if you hear someone is interested in the team, they're giving away their hand. The banks got to line up, the investors. There's so much money that comes into this. I don't think it'll be decided before this upcoming season. And again, a guy like Bezos, you know what he gets? He walks in and goes, wait, Wick, you're still holding on to 50? No. 100% is what I get. Here's a check, straight cash. I'm liquid. 6.5, $7 billion, get out. My team now. But he wants his team and his building, whoever buys the team. Let's bring my boy Tay back in. I know it's kind of old news, Tay, but it's been so long, and that's what I'm thinking. Driving around, people ask me, I'm like, I love that Bezos rumor, but I'm not surprised he backed away when he found out he doesn't get the whole thing.
Yeah, I'm not shocked by that at all as well. Yeah, like you said, it's an important part of being an owner is owning the building that you play in. Obviously, it's a huge asset towards that team. So I would like to see a guy who would come in. I don't have a list, you know what I mean, or anything like that, because I don't just think of billionaires in my off time. But I do know this. I want somebody who's going to come into this team and give it their all, kind of like a Ballmer or a Cuban, a guy who's really invested on the ins and outs of of the team and loves Boston as a whole. And even if they're not from here or have no ties to Boston or anything like that, they come and embrace the culture, kind of like you have when you got here to Boston, man, and really want to win with these guys on the court, off the court, and just be an all-around staple of the city of Boston. That's what I want to see in an owner. I don't want a guy who's just going to come in money bags. I think if Jeff
Bezos would be money bags.
He would have just been money bags.
He wouldn't be courtside.
Exactly. I want somebody who's going to be there courtside, who knows the families, who's going to hug your baby daughter and, you know what I mean, and give your grandma a nice walk to her chair. You know, that's the guy that I want to come in here and be owner of this team if possible, but who knows if that's out there.
Man, I was just, you think about all the tech, all the medicine that's in this area. Like, there's got to be someone out there with them billions. Mm-hmm. And again, though, maybe we don't know. Like, just think of like Market Basket. That's a locally owned, a locally started empire here. Maybe they got to get outside help. But at the end of the day, they can go, I could be that 51%.
Yep.
And someone that's from here that can step in and do it. But again, who has that money that would come in and be willing to pay this tax? That's why I look at a guy like Bezos. I sit down, Boston's entered the chat. Sheikh Mansour. He owns Man City. They own a bunch of soccer clubs around the country. Okay. He's worth $17 billion, but he is the son of the petroleum empire of the Middle East. Yeah, $1 trillion is his family's net worth.
Wow.
That's different money. But what you get with those guys, people in the Middle East, I know it. I'm Lebanese. I'm Armenian. There's a lot of money out there.
Yep.
There's egos. And that's what you want. You don't want that David Tepper ego of I'm going to fire everyone, but you want that ego of I want to put the best team ever out there. Look at what they did once they bought Man City. Mm-hmm. World-class arena they play in, stadium, world-class facilities, and look at how much they pay to get the biggest names in soccer to play for the team. And look at who they have. They're paying what it takes to keep Pep Guardiola, best friends with Joe Mazzulla, to be there leading that team on the pitch. I just think of someone like that would come in and have the money. And all right, maybe he won't be present every day, especially everything they got going in. But someone that has the money that is raising the standard, has a high standard, and doesn't look at it like an asset. Looks at it like this is a team, this is a football team, a basketball team, a soccer team, and it's all about championships. So someone that wants that. But then it would come into NBA owners got to approve. And if this guy comes in with $7 billion cash, which he can afford thanks to his family, who knows if that would happen? Because end of the day, it's an old boys club in the NBA, and they go, who's this guy from the Middle East coming in trying to show us up? Just saying. I don't think it would happen that way either.
Yeah, it probably wouldn't. You're probably right about that. I don't think that, the NBA fraternity would want somebody to come in who's like that, who's bashful and all of that stuff. They're really particular about people they let own teams in the NBA. So no question about that. A guy who's in there to shake it up, I think they're all out on that.
It's one of you got to walk the talk the talk, and you got to play the game. Like there's a game within the game. There's a game to get to that money to buy a team. Then there's the game of, all right, now you're in the club. You're 1 to 30. Quote unquote, majority owners. You're 1 to 30. All right, but you got to do it this way. You got to pay your dues that way. Completely disagree. But then on the end, he'd go, look, if I give you this check and I buy this team, you get $30 million right away. But again, it's a long game. None of those guys want to give up the franchise for what we know. I'd like to see a Sheikh Mansour. I just think that'd be a fun dynamic to have.
We'll see.
Oil money's different money, bro. Oil money is like my boy. His brother studied abroad in Spain.
Yep.
And he got back. I was catching up, and there's a while back. He was like, yeah, I made friends. Like, she was awesome. She's like the heir to the 4th richest family in the Middle East. And I was like, dude, do you know what that is? He was like, oh, yeah. He was like, she was cool. But I'm like, that is insane money. I'm still like, I was in Nantucket over the weekend. I did not belong there. That's not a humble brag. Like, I walked in, people smelt the pour on me. They're like, what are you doing here? But you pull out of there, you're seeing these like $20, $30 million homes. You get to the airport, you see the private jet, all those private jets. You see a $40, $50 million yacht. That's the type of people you want. That's the world you got to be in to even sniff buying an NBA team. It is a different world to be considered.
I seen the way you travel, George. You belong. You belong. You travel nice. You travel nice.
So what you got for us today, Tay? Let's get into it, bro.
All right. So we got to preview some NBA teams. We're going through the list. Now we're up to the Utah Jazz. I know a team probably people don't want to hear about from us. You know what I mean? A team that had a lot of struggles last year. I personally think they got a little bit better over this offseason. What do you think about this Utah Jazz team going into the 2024-2025 NBA season?
This is a team I was high on last season. And I think their over-under win total was set around 27, 28.5, and I said go over, and they did. But then you still see a low win total for what they have, around 31 games, depending on what book you go to.
Yep.
But that's mostly what Vegas has given them. Kind of a letdown offseason, because we know Danny Ainge mentioned going big game hunting. All right, Trae Young, Paul George, didn't get them. Even a guy like Brandon Ingram, less sexy name, but still big game hunting.
Yep.
Even does Lauri Markkanen get moved? They tied him up to a 5-year deal, and they can't trade him because he signed it within 6 months of the NBA trade deadline. So he stayed put. But how they drafted Cody Williams out of Colorado, a bucket. Isaiah Collier out of USC, you know him well, a bucket. Kyle Filipowski give you a front court depth, and we know he'll love being out there in Mormon land. But then John Collins, Jordan Clarkson on the roster for now. They could be trade deadline pieces. But a team with Keontae George, a bucket, Collin, Sexton, Markkanen, John Collins, Walker, Kessler. Like, this is a deep team with a good head coach and Will Hardy.
Yep.
So this could be a team, maybe they get into the play-in. Maybe they mess around and get there. I mean, we know they have the home court. They got the coach. They got the talent and the depth of the roster. It's how much they step up. I'm excited to see this Jazz team play. I think they would add a good wrinkle to the West of just being a different type of contender and someone that could be a new blood back into the playoffs that'd make it more interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. They might be, they're probably going to be right where they were last year on the edge of that play-in-ville, looking out, you know what I mean? Looking through the window, peeking in, seeing like, can we? They might be like how the Houston Rockets were last year, right? Like, we got to the end of the season and they were doing the, hey, Warriors, come out and play, because they were on their tail for a little bit and then the Warriors ended up being the Warriors and pulling away. I think the Jazz could probably be that team this year where they're flirting with 35 wins, and at the end of the season you're looking at them and they're like, oh, are they a playoff team with like 20 games to go? Like, maybe they are, maybe they aren't. I think that's definitely what you're going to see. I am a little nervous about this team just on the defensive end as a whole. I think that obviously losing Chris Dunn was a huge loss for them, and I know people were like, Chris Dunn, but he's a huge leader on a team that of like younger guys, honestly. Most of these guys that they're going to be relying on coming into this season, you talked about Collier, you talked about Cody Williams, you talked about Flip. All three of these guys are going to have to play minutes, and they're going to have one of them, at least maybe two of them, are going to have to work out if the Jazz are going to be good in the next couple of years. They have a huge issue at point guard now. They don't have one. You know what I mean? They have three guards who play point but not really point. They mostly want to score. With Keontae George, Clarkson, and Sexton, they all want to score the basketball. But they not so great at facilitating the other guys. And I don't blame them because the Jazz haven't really had other guys to facilitate to in years besides Markkanen, you know what I mean? Now they have John Collins, but it's not like a guy that you can just, give the ball to and watch work. He's more of a off-the-ball, lob threat, maybe hit a couple 15-footers to corner three kind of guy, you know what I mean? And Walker Kessler, he's not really been what they thought he was going to be, honestly. Like, he's a rim protector first, we know that, but offensively his game has just not been what he was projected to be coming out of Auburn, out of college. So you're really hoping that one of these guards, Collier really is the one you would hope, because he's a huge facilitator. That's what he came into the league as a point guard, a original type of point guard, not a big scoring. He's more of a get downhill, assist kind of guy. We got to see if he's able to translate that into the NBA, because he didn't do that super well at USC, and I know he missed some time with injury. But yeah, this Jazz team, I know I sound like I'm not high on them. I'm higher on them than they were last year. They won 31 games. I think that they're going to float around 33 to 35 this year, which is a little bit better than they were the year before. But obviously, you just got to hope that they stay healthy. Just
in perspective, like 36 wins got the Hawks into the play-in. 46 wins is what you would need to make it in the West. And look at the landscape of them, too. The Rockets are going to get better. Another season under Ime Udoka. We'll see what guys step up out of their core. The Grizzlies could get better. Like,
They
we'll see
will,
what they get from
because
Ja.
they'll have Ja back.
Yeah, they got Ja back like a full season. I just still the Zach Edey dynamic in that fast of an offense, but I'll get there another time.
Yep.
And shoot, bro, we say it all the time. When does the talk start about Wemby?
Yeah.
Like a 22-win Spurs team, Wemby went through the season, went through the Olympics, saw what it takes to get by in the NBA, not even get by, to thrive in the NBA.
Yep.
The dude was so pissed off to get a silver medal and lose against a stacked dream, Hall of Fame, Team USA. So pissed off that he can take a Spurs team from 22 wins to 40 wins.
Yeah.
Dominates at both ends of the floor, and right there, you're already passing the Jazz, who are doing that slow cooking rebuild.
Yeah.
But you never know with Trader Danny, like what he'll have up his sleeve, what he could do at the deadline, especially with guys that he can move in Collins and in those guys as well with John Collins. And I wouldn't leave anyone off the board.
Clarkson. Maybe
and Jordan Clarkson.
Yeah.
Even Colin Sexton. You just never know what could happen with those guys.
One of those guys is probably going to leave this team before the end of the year. I think they have to, you know what I mean? They're going to be in a spot where they get to halfway through the season and they only have 18, 20, wins, hopefully. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So there are definitely going to be some questions about whether one of those three guys who have kind of been there for a couple of years now, is it going to continue to work out for them? They obviously invested large in the Lauri. But yeah, I wanted to ask you, what bets do you like from the Utah Jazz team that you have, maybe that you're going to sprinkle a couple of dollars on going into the year?
I just saw over 29.5 wins. It's even money on DK. I mean, this is a team that won 31 last year. They got better. They locked up Markkanen. Yep. They just have a deeper team all around. Yeah, maybe they can look like they'd be sellers at the deadline, but this is also a team with the majority of their roster being guys that they have drafted. Mm-hmm. And this is another year of Danny Ainge leading that front office, leading the structure. To get that at plus money for a team that won 31 games, like has gotten better year by year in the win column and gets more talent on the scoring side. I understand the point you're making about gelling, but it's so simple to me. Like, can you win 30 games? That's it. That's all I'm asking.
Yep.
Can you win 30 games? Yes. I'd take it for even money. What about you? You find any you like?
Yeah, I think I seen on FanDuel there's 30-plus wins for the Jazz, and you get plus 160 at this. I think that I would probably sprinkle a couple of dollars there because once again, a team that won 31 games a season ago, a team that I think is going to be better, obviously adding John Collins last year, shaking up. They're going to be more gel. They're going to have a point guard if they play Collier that's really willing to facilitate and set up these guys because they do have scorers. Ountae can really fill it up. Clarkson can really fill it up. Sexton can really fill it up. Markkanen can really fill it up. And you could get that random 30, 40-point game out of Collins any night because he's athletic. He's a lob threat. He gets hot. He's a streaky guy. He starts shooting the ball really well. They have guys that can fill it up. So I think this team will be dangerous on the offensive end, and guys are going to take them lightly because, like you said, they're looking at, I got to play the Spurs. Maybe I got to not take them as lightly because of Wemby this year. We know we're not going to take Houston as lightly. We know we're not going to take Memphis as lightly. So all these other teams are getting better, and they're going to be able to sneak and get some guys on some wins just because they're like, it's Utah. We're going out there with the Mormons and the snow. These dudes aren't ready, and they're going to come ready to play on the offensive end, and they're going to score points.
They're going to catch him in the middle, like a West Coast trip, fifth game of that swing, maybe on the second half of a back-to-back, cold-ass Utah. It seems like, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
Why do they have an NBA team here? And then they come out and get buckets and punch him in the mouth by the time they get to it. Plus 160. So same thing. DK saying 30 wins.
Yep.
FanDuel saying 30 or more wins. So the smarter bet is yours. Like, go to FanDuel. Because if they place your bet, then every 100 you bet, you'll get $60 more in return. You're giving up 60 cents on the dollar if you go with DK compared to if you go with FanDuel and go 30 or more wins for a Jazz team. Where both books are telling you that's where they are. The team last year told us 31 wins.
Yep.
The smart bet. I like you found that one at FanDuel. I'm going to hop off after the show, open up my FanDuel app, and place a bet on that. It's just smart betting. It's part of it. It's just the smart betting.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about a good team. the Oklahoma City Thunder, probably going to be the number one seed in the West. That's a little spoiler for me. How do you feel about the OKC Thunder going into the 2024-2025 NBA season?
I loved them last year. Big, physical, shoot really efficiently, have a top 4 player in the world right now with SGA as a leader of their offense, both ends of the floor.
Yeah.
But then they go out and signed an Alex Caruso and Isaiah Hartenstein over from the Knicks. Caruso, of course, signed from a separate team, but good wing defender, good shooter in Caruso, big, strong, physical, a vet to show these guys. And Hartenstein is someone that you run everything through SGA. Like, he's one-stop shop. He is the offense.
Yep.
But Hartenstein can run it from the nail at the free throw line and do a lot of things out of the post. They just didn't have that ability to before. And he takes pressure off of Chet. Chet can go out on the perimeter, be that guy. That is a huge mismatch for teams to face, while Hartenstein can do a lot on his own as well. So I think they vastly upgraded. They've re-signed Isaiah Joe and Aaron Wiggins as well. I love the J-Dub and J-Will, the guys they have there. It's more than SGA, but on how good their top three players. And it's an addition by subtraction, really, to bring in Alex Caruso to replace him. But Josh Giddey out of here, where when it comes time for the playoffs, teams can't defend them the same way. Like, they can't keep one guy open, and it helps them a lot when you're playing 4-on-5 basketball and just dare Giddey to shoot because he's terrible at that spot. They have a true threat in this offense. I love SGA. I love the Thunder. I think this is a team I expect to get to the Western Conference Finals, so that reflects in a different way. You saying they're going to be the 1 seed in the West would not be shocked at all.
Yeah, I was looking up Caruso's stats as you were talking because I thought the same thing. Like, you're losing Giddey, but you're getting a guy who fits more into your system. Now, I think Giddey might have an opportunity to be a better player over his career than Alex Caruso is, just off of basketball talent. But you didn't need what he brought to OKC on the Thunder. You need that more in Chicago, right? A guy who's an on-ball guard who really needs the ball in his hands to score, facilitate, and get things done for his team on the offensive end. He doesn't need to be in the corner waiting for a shot, playing off closeouts. He needs to be playing pick and roll, and we saw that with Australia. And I'll talk more about him when we talk about the Chicago Bulls. But with Caruso, you got a 40% three-point shooter now added to SGA's team. So you got him, you got Dort, who's obviously became a way better shooter throughout his time being there with the Thunder over his career. You got Wiggins, who's going to be a lights out shooter for their team. You have the good J-Dub. Excuse me, good Jalen Williams, number 8. You know what I'm saying? Is a bucket getter supreme. He plays super well off the ball. He shoots the ball extremely well. And then you have a center with Chet who can stretch the floor out as well, kind of like what we see with Porzingis here in Boston. He stretches the floor out to 30-plus feet, and he makes defense be aware. You have that now surrounding SGA. This team is going to be really, really dangerous. And Caruso is a better defender right now in his career than Josh Giddey is. And then on top of that, like you said, you're adding Hartenstein. They had Biyombo. You know what I mean? Last year. What was Biyombo doing for them? Nothing.
Sitting on the bench.
Nothing. And they replaced that and get Isaiah Hartenstein, who did a lot for the Knicks this year and was a huge part of their success, honestly, throughout the season and the playoffs. So adding those two guys is going to be huge for this Thunder team. I think they have a chance to be, honestly, the best record in the entire NBA.
Yep.
No question about that. Is there any I want to ask you this, though. Do you think Shai has a chance, or how good of a chance? If you could scale it on a 1 to 10 scale, 1 being he's not getting MVP at all, 10 being he's for sure getting MVP, how would you rank Shai on that scale in terms of getting NBA MVP?
OKC getting the 1 seed says they're having a better record than Doncic and Jokic.
Yep.
Who are both betting favorites ahead of SGA to get regular season MVP.
Yep.
And I just think how good his game is getting, how it's evolving, and the better surrounding cast they have him, better spacing, better depth, better everything.
Yep.
1 to 10, 10 is basically he got it. So even if I gave him a 9, there's that space to leave open.
Yep.
I'd go 8.3.
8.3.
That's high probability. I mean, this is a guy, you can bet him 6-1 to win league MVP.
Yep.
But we see what the favorites are. It's Jokic, it's Doncic, it's still Giannis up there too. But I just think it's going to be the MVP is someone that comes out of the West. I just think it's where the better basketball is. And even if you look at the East, like a guy like Tatum, top 7 player, but not going to win MVP. Jaylen Brown, great player, not going to win MVP. Giannis is a good threat. Maybe Jalen Brunson, but I just don't see the Knicks being that 1 seed. I just need a really good regular season team. And I think OKC has the best chance to be a really good regular season team because they added in the offseason. They added and they addressed where they were missing pieces, and there isn't that big loss. Like the Nuggets, roster-wise, like losing a KCP, they're not as good as they once were.
Yep.
When you lose someone who's a great shooter and perimeter guy like KCP.
Yep.
But then the Magic got better because they brought in defense and spacing. And even with the Mavericks, that's one that's up in the air. You bring in Clay. He has to be your third, fourth best player. Playing off of Doncic, how does it help him? The Mavs got better. But the Thunder were so good, and they just got even better. And you talked about the growth of a Dort, of a Williams, and what those guys are. Their top three players are still SGA, Jaylen Williams, and Chet. Or you could say even Lou Dort, and that how elite a defender he is as well, because of how good this team is. But it's clear cut who their best player is. I like SGA's chances to win MVP a lot.
Yeah, I do. I actually would bet it, like you said, plus 550, 6-1. You know, I would
depending where you go.
Depending on where you go. Yeah, I got it from FanDuel. But yeah.
So and I love that real quick. We just see the why you should always look at different books.
Yep.
Where you got a better number for the Jazz wins on FanDuel. I got a better number for SGA MVP over at DraftKings.
So yeah, maybe I'll switch it over and I'll go like how you said after this episode and sprinkle a couple of dollars. No, I'm not a betting man. But yeah, I think SGA has a great chance because of all the things that you said. I personally think that they're going to have the best record in the entire NBA next season. I know the West is a tough case, but I think it's going to be some growing pains in Dallas when you figuring out how to play with Clay. I think there's going to be obviously a slowdown for the Nuggets, like you said, because it seems like every year guys keep getting posts off their team. You know, Bruce Brown 2 years ago, now KCP, you know, getting posts off of their team and going to the Orlando Magic. They keep losing guys, and they're not adding much back in the draft, and that worries me for the Denver Nuggets. So I think while those teams are figuring it out, OKC is going to come out
They
hot.
got it solved.
And they're going to have it already figured out because two plug-and-play guys with Caruso, with Hartenstein, they're going to be ready to go from day one. I think this team is going to be the best team in the NBA in terms of records in the regular season. And then on top of that, I think SGA is going to continue to light people up, 30 points a game, and he's going to have more assists because Giddey is gone, so they lost their second facilitator, and they got more shooting.
Yeah, it's like perfect put of like they just had to do the small tweaks to this roster. Already we're a really good team. Just had to make those small adjustments to get even better. And this is with a Mavericks team coming off an NBA championship run with mileage. Timberwolves will be better. I mean, they drafted well, and obviously Ant-Man, just the confidence goes up. I didn't even think that was possible with him. But what OKC has at that core, and then it is the best team in the NBA and clear-cut best player. That's a perfect marriage of SGA getting a league MVP. No matter what, though, you look at top four players in the league. Jokic, Doncic, Giannis, SGA, none of them American-born. Don't forget, Shai is from Canada. He's a Maple Leaf guy, right? Loves his, maple syrup up that way, eh?
And it's Tim Hortons.
Yeah, Tim Hortons is fire. I'm a big Tim Hortons fan. Dunkin's great, but like you're up there, like Tim Hortons is good too. So we always wonder, like, what's a local chain you go to certain countries? Tim Hortons. That's that good stuff. I take Tim Hortons over Starbucks.
Oh, that's a hot take.
Oh, yeah.
I want to ask you if you have any other hot takes on bets that you would like to take on this team.
On the Thunder?
Yeah.
Ooh. So I kind of, played my cards on that. But 7-1 to win the whole thing. Now, it's also when you look at the number where it's a Celtics plus 295. And the next shortest odds is OKC 7-1. Like, that's a huge line to draw. But second best odds, just 7-1. Now, I would tell you, too, bet the Celtics at plus 295 because they cruised through the regular season. And they cruised through the postseason. And they cruised through the finals to win. It was nuts what they did. They never really faced, like, hard adversity. I know KP going down, all that stuff. So I would bet that Celtics team plus 295. But if you're taking a team out of the West, take the Thunder 7-1. Now, you could fall $1 under and go, I'm going to bet on this team to be a regular season team. SGA MVP 6-1. Those are two bets I like with the Thunder of, you're telling me the second most likely team to win the NBA title, 7-1? 7-1 right now? I would take that number.
So on FanDuel, they have one of most regular season wins, and I already talked about how I think they're going to be the best team in the regular season this year because probably KP, we're not getting him back until December, maybe January here in Boston. I think that OKC is going to take advantage of that. You can get them at 5-1 on FanDuel for most regular season wins. And obviously, I think I want to take that because of all the reasons that we stated beforehand.
Yeah, think about it. So then it goes into regular season wins 5-1, SGA MVP 6-1. If they get the most wins, SGA very likely to get MVP.
Yep.
But of course, there's that factor of how much everyone loves Ant-Man, how much and how good Luka has been. Does he take another leap?
Yep.
Where maybe those T-Wolves or Mavs don't finish with the best record, but they get MVP anyway.
Yep.
You got options. You believe in this team as a regular season team, 5-1.
Yep.
And again, that's you bet that, and then regular season concludes, and you go, nice. I'm in a good spot. That's it.
Yep.
I got my winnings. That's it. I don't have to sweat this thing out into the NBA Finals. But $200 difference between winning the whole thing and winning the regular season.
Yeah, 100%. All right, now it's time for your favorite game.
Let's do it.
Win in 7. So obviously this is a segment where you get an opportunity to guess the NBA player that I'm thinking of. You get 7 questions. After the 7th question, if you don't have the correct guess, then you get a silhouette and you get one final guess after that.
Perfect. I love it. Let's do it, baby.
Let's do it.
All right, I'm going to start with current player, or are they retired?
They are current.
Current. Okay. How many NBA titles do they have?
This player has 1 NBA title.
1 NBA title. Current player, 1 NBA title.
Yes.
Where did they play in college? I came prepared this time.
Okay, I will tell you the conference that they played in college.
No, where did they play in college?
The conference that they played in college is the Pac-12. Pac-12.
All right, current or retired. They're a current player, 1 NBA champion.
Yep, from the Pac-12.
Why can't you tell me what college they played?
Because they'll give it away.
RIP the Pac-12, by the way.
Yes.
I had to go to Big Ten Network to watch Oregon football.
I saw your tweet about
Nasty.
that. That was crazy.
Appreciate the like. Nasty word. Hated that.
Oh, man.
How many All-Stars do
This
they have?
player has, let me count, 3 All-Star appearances.
3 All-Stars. So that's my 4th question.
Yes, that is your 4th question. 3 All-Star appearances, current NBA player, 1
Played at the
championship.
Pac-12. Played in the Pac-12. 3 All-Stars. What year were they drafted?
The year that they were drafted was 2016.
Ooh, man. All right, so I got to go a little deep on their Pac-12 days then. 2016 draft. Front or back court?
This is a front / back court guy.
Bro, this is the same thing
It's a
with
wing.
Melo.
This is a wing.
Wing.
This is a wing. That was question number 6.
3-time All-Star.
Yep.
NBA champion.
Yep.
Played in the Pac-12. Drafted 2016. East or West?
Eastern Conference.
East.
That was question number 7. Would you like to see your silhouette?
Yeah, give me the silhouette. Let's see if this helps. Is it Jaylen Brown?
It is. Let's go.
Before I asked East or West, I was like,
go.
wait, because 2016, that was the key question.
Yep.
That's awesome. That was so much
I
less
couldn't
stressful
give you
than Melo.
Cal. I couldn't give you Cal. If I said Cal, current NBA player, like, come on, bro.
There's no one else.
Like, come on, bro. Who else? You know what I'm saying?
Hey, well done. Well played.
Yes.
You see, like, I did it once. I was asking all the wrong questions.
Yep.
But it was once you said wing.
Yep.
And I saw 2016 draft. I was like, wait, champion Pac-12, 3 All-Stars.
Yep.
Like, it took a minute for JB to come into his own. If I went, how many times has he been all pro? That would help too, because you would have said once.
Yeah.
Right?
If you would have, all NBA, I would have, it would have only been one time.
Yeah, Pac-12, it was 2016 is what helped.
Yep.
NBA champion, All-Star. That's what gave it. And then, Pac-12, I'm like, that's Jaylen Brown.
Yeah.
Before I went East or West.
Yeah, Aquaman, man. You know what I mean?
I
Have you been
saw that.
seeing all this? Yeah, the Aquaman stuff. He's been releasing music. I didn't get the chance to ask you about that, how you felt about his song with A$AP Ferg. Have you heard it yet?
It was terrible. Bro, it was awful. And, like, dude, it was awful.
Okay, hold on. We'll move on to the next thing. All right. So a company that Jaylen Brown is mad with is Nike, right? But they have this partnership with Lego, and also this tweet that they put out to show their sponsorship that they're having their partnership with Lego. And people are wondering, right? Will there be some NBA, Nike, Lego shoes, you know what I'm saying? Like some Jordans or some Nikes or some, whatever, some Dunks. And I wanted to know if you could list off some of the shoes that you would like to see get Lego-fied, like the ones that you would put on your, your console table in your living room or something like that.
Yeah, so I'm not wearing them, right?
No, you're not wearing them. Of course not. We're not talking about Lego shoes that you would wear because we don't want to see shoes Lego-fied. We want to see them actually be built with your own two hands, and then you show them off to your friends.
We've seen those awful red boots. Like I won't write anything off of what people will wear on their feet.
Yes.
I got to go Jordan 11s. It's my favorite Jordans.
Okay.
And I think what's the best is that you could go with like the Gammas, or you can go with the blues too on that.
Yep.
I think it'd be sick. Dunks in general, and what you could play with that of like the different colorways you could get dunks.
Yeah.
This is interesting. I mean, I'm not talented enough. If you think about it, like this can happen already.
Yeah.
Give me a bunch of red, black, and white, and I can make the Jordan 11s.
Yep.
Or give me, I mean, you could keep it simple. Give me like purple and white, and you can make the dunks.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm excited for this. Jordan 11s, the ones. I'm trying to think of more recent Jordans. I would like, I like the Giannis ones with the backward swoosh.
Yeah.
I would love to see those too. And the Travis Scotts too.
Travis Scott's would be dope.
That backward swoosh is so sick to me.
Yeah.
So I would like that to be Lego-fied. What about you?
Yeah, I have a couple on my list, and I'm specific colorways, okay? So
Nice.
I would like to see the Sean Witherspoon Air Max 97s.
Yeah, I love the Witherspoons.
That would be fire, man. Just to have the wave pattern in the Legos with the colors and all that other stuff. That would be dope to see. Another one that's close to home to me, I got to see those Bruce Lee Kobe 5s.
Yep.
Those would be sick with the like tear, with the red, you know what I mean, rips in them, and the yellow and black Bruce Lee colorway. Those would be so dope. And of course Kobe's, you know what I mean? Having a Kobe on the coffee table would be dope. And then my favorite shoe of all time, and I wear them around the office here. I love them so much that they're beat up. Top 3 Jordan 1s. So they're mixed match Jordans. One side is like a red tongue, and the other side is like a blue tongue. You got some red, white, and blue colorways in there, which are more, Jordan-esque, black, white. It's just a great shoe. If you haven't seen it before, go look at it. I love it. I wear it with mismatched shoelaces. So those are my 3 that I would love to see.
Another to plug you on too. I like your Fruity Pebble LeBron lows.
Yeah.
That'd be sick too. It's again, same thing with the colorways and all that.
Yeah, I would wonder how they would do the shoelaces with that. That would be dope because they have like the Fruity Pebble speckles on it and stuff like that. Like,
I feel like the shoelaces would be like a hard plastic and you click them in. Like it would just be a big piece.
Yeah.
You can't go piece by piece.
Yeah.
You said on the Kobe for the Bruce Lees, I'd like to see the Kill Bill Kobe's.
Yeah.
Those would be ill too.
Yeah, those would be dope. Those definitely would be dope.
When I grow out of upgrade a little and get away from like 510 square feet in Charlestown, and I get my own office, Legos, it's therapeutic to do
It
that.
is.
It's like painting, right? But then you do it, and you hang a painting on your wall. I think it's genius. Same thing with the Legos. Put it up, coffee table, desk, put on your bookcase in the Zoom background.
Yep.
I like that idea. And to have a Nike Lego, I mean, they have to. There's no way they don't do it.
Yeah, they have to do it, right? That's the whole point of the partnership. The shoe is probably in real life, it's probably gonna cost less than the Lego version. But whatever. Who cares?
I haven't seen how much a Lego set costs in a minute. How much do Lego sets cost these days?
Dude, like if you want to buy one of those like Star Wars ones or like the how you love F1, the car ones, those are like $300, $400, $500, man. It's crazy.
Bro, Titanic $680.
Yep.
Hogwarts $470.
Yep.
Home Alone $290. Who wants a Home Alone Lego set? Get out of here. $290?
Yeah, no, exactly. And like the Harry Potter ones, don't even look at the Harry Potter or like the Infinity Gauntlet. Like if you do that from Marvel, bro, those things are expensive. I'm so glad neither of us have kids. This is a Travis problem. Do kids even still play with Legos?
Bro, I haven't played with Legos in a minute. I would play with the small sets.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Look at this price.
Yeah, no, it's crazy.
$230 to build a globe? No.
Yeah.
Lego Marvel Avengers title $500? No, I'm just gonna get a pair of shoes at this point.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's it.
Yeah. You know what would be dope, though? Because I absolutely loved those games when I was a kid. Lego Star Wars. If they made a Lego like Star Wars edition of an actual Nike shoe that I could wear, That would be tough. I would rock that somehow, some way. I don't need to like Lego. Nike would make it cooler. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Where it's not like little kid Lego version, but like I would love to see that.
Man, now you got my mind spin. I got to hop on GOAT or Nike, see some like new dunks to grab or something like that.
Yes, sir. Yes,
sir. Always good being on Banner with you. I think I'm on all week, right?
Yeah.
Right. As long as you have me, I'll stay, Tay. As long as you have me, I'll stay. He's Ountae Campbell. I'm George Balekji. This was Hold My Banner. Wherever you're listening, please like, subscribe, rate, review. If you're watching on Nesson's YouTube or Nesson Twitch, hit the subscribe button as well. Tweet at Tay. Follow him on Instagram. Same with me. Comment, DM us any questions you guys got. Or email us, thechat@nesson.com, and be like, hey, it's for my Banner peeps.
Yep.
This is a question I got for you guys. We'd appreciate it. Tay, always good being with you, bro.
Always good to be with you as well, George, my boy.
Till next time. We'll see you guys.
Deuces.